c'est que eux, là, en face, qui jouent une putain de finale de Coupe du Monde. Et nous, on la joue pas.
France's biggest weapon isn't Kylian Mbappé. It isn't a world-famous winger, and it isn't even the Ballon d'Or winner. It's Didier Deschamps, the fearless French manager who never looks scared of any opponent. He transformed France into one of the most dangerous tournament teams in Europe, with smart tactics, confidence, and a winning mindset. Strong defending, explosive attacks, and nerves of steel. That's what defines this French side. Deschamps has built a team that always believes it can outscore the competition, instead of simply trying to protect a narrow lead. Here's how Didier Deschamps helped turn France into a football powerhouse once again. France is one of the few national teams where even a disappointing result is still better than what many countries dream of achieving. That's the level they've built over many years. But the journey hasn't been smooth. In 2022, France reached the World Cup final. Mbappé scored a hat-trick, and they came within moments of winning back-to-back World Cup titles before Argentina claimed the trophy in a penalty shootout. On paper, that tournament looked like a huge success. France reached the World Cup final, Mbappé won the Golden Boot, and the team pushed Argentina all the way in. One of the most unforgettable finals ever. By almost any standard, that's an incredible achievement. But France has never judged itself by ordinary standards. Behind the celebrations, there was still a feeling that something was missing. Then Euro 2024 arrived, and the conversation changed fast. France made it all the way to the semi-finals without scoring a single goal from open play, becoming the first team in European Championship history to do it. They scored only 3 times during the tournament, 2 own goals from opponents and 1 penalty from Mbappé. Then Spain ended their run with a 2-1 win in the semi-final. Lamine Yamal and Dani Olmo made the difference, and suddenly, people started asking difficult questions. Had Deschamps become too cautious? Was his system falling behind? Had other teams finally figured France out? The criticism grew louder, and the doubts became impossible to ignore. But many people missed what was happening behind the scenes. Deschamps wasn't standing still, he was adapting. Then, in January 2025, he made a surprise announcement that stunned French football. He would not extend his contract beyond the 2026 World Cup. This would be his final tournament in charge. So why did Didier Deschamps make that choice? What did he notice that so many critics overlooked? And most importantly, how did he help reshape a team that many believed had gone stale into one of the biggest threats at this World Cup? Most football fans think they already know the story of Didier Deschamps. They remember the tough midfielder, the trophies, and the famous image of him lifting the World Cup as France's captain in 1998. But that's only part of the picture. Deschamps was never just a player who broke up attacks. From the very beginning of his career, he was fascinated by controlling every part of the game and making sure his team stayed one step ahead. Even during his playing days, Deschamps didn't wait for danger before reacting. He tried to prevent problems before they even appeared. He constantly organized teammates, adjusted their positions, and seemed to read the game several passes in advance. It was clear that he saw football differently. That mindset didn't appear by accident either.
This is what you do with a country's golden generation. Not all of that stuff Roberto Martinez did with Belgium and Portugal. This is what you do. So since he's come in as manager, they hit the finals of the Euros in 2016, won the World Cup in 2018, won the Nations League in 2021. They were finalists of the World Cup in 2022. They were semi-finalists in the Euros in 2024. And now this World Cup that we just hit, they've hit the semi-finals again and could potentially hit the final and win the whole thing.
Deschamps grew up in Bayonne, in France's Basque Country, where discipline, teamwork, and smart decision-making were valued just as much as individual talent. And winning always came first. By the time Didier Deschamps arrived at Marseille, he wasn't only learning from experienced managers, he was studying everything they did. He worked under Raymond Goethals at Marseille, Marcelo Lippi at Juventus, and Gianluca Vialli at Chelsea. Every coach added something to his football education, but Lippi had one of the biggest influences. Deschamps embraced the Italian approach, learning why strong organisation creates opportunities, why a solid defence gives attackers more freedom, and why success is built on efficiency, not just style. Lippi once described Deschamps as one of the smartest players he had ever coached, and that football intelligence only grew after his playing career ended. Retirement didn't slow him down. Instead, it gave him the chance to focus completely on understanding what it really takes to build winning teams. Then, in 2001, he stepped into management. His journey began at Monaco, where he guided the club to the 2004 Champions League final. After that came Juventus, followed by Marseille, where he helped deliver the club's first League One title in 18 years. The mission was obvious from day one. Results weren't always perfect, but one thing never changed. His teams had a clear identity. Even when some supporters wanted more entertaining football, Deschamps stayed committed to the approach he believed gave his teams the best chance to win. For Didier Deschamps, winning has always come before style. Attractive football is great, but lifting trophies is what matters most. Still, ideas by themselves don't win World Cups. The difference comes from putting those ideas into action. And that's where Deschamps' story with France truly begins. In 2012, the French Football Federation appointed Didier Deschamps as the national team's head coach, even though he had never managed at international level before. France had just been knocked out of Euro 2012 in the quarter-finals, and the squad was dealing with serious internal problems. Reports of dressing room tension had dominated the headlines, including Samir Nasri's widely reported confrontation with a journalist. Deschamps walked into a difficult situation from day one. Instead of trying to solve every problem overnight, he rebuilt the team step by step. He worked patiently, shaped the squad one player at a time, and improved with every tournament. So what makes Deschamps' tactical system so effective? And how did that approach help transform France into one of the toughest teams to beat on the biggest stage? His football philosophy starts with one simple rule: don't concede. Trust your attackers, stay organised, win the biggest matches. Those ideas have been at the heart of Didier Deschamps' approach from the very beginning. France always had incredible talent, but in earlier years the team could sometimes look unpredictable, emotional, and vulnerable. Under Deschamps, that changed. He built a side with outstanding defensive discipline that can make even world-class attackers struggle to find space. One thing that stands out is how committed he remains to his philosophy, no matter how much criticism comes his way. If you've watched France at this World Cup, you've probably noticed it almost immediately. They don't rush forward without a plan, they squeeze the game, stay patient, and put constant pressure on their opponents. They stay calm when the other team has possession, defend with confidence, and then strike at exactly the right moment. When many teams lose the ball, panic quickly sets in. France reacts differently. The players immediately drop into position, close passing lanes, and challenge opponents to find a way through. The entire system is built to frustrate attacks, force mistakes, and launch fast, dangerous counter-attacks. It all begins with a well-organised mid-block, allowing France to defend together before breaking forward with incredible speed. And when you look at the attacking talent France has, this might be the most dangerous part of Deschamps' entire system. Defending is only one side of the plan. The moment France wins the ball, everything changes in an instant. Their shape can quickly shift from a 4-2-3-1 into a much more aggressive attacking setup. The pitch opens up, the wide players push forward, and suddenly 4 dangerous attackers are running straight at the defense. It looks simple, but it's incredibly difficult to stop because one fast transition can completely change the game. With players like Mbappé, Dembélé, Olise, and Barcola, France has the pace, skill, and confidence to turn one defensive action into a huge scoring chance within seconds. That's why opponents can't just sit back and relax. France can stay patient for long stretches, absorb pressure, and then strike with incredible speed when the opportunity appears. Their defensive organisation keeps them in the match, and their attacking quality does the rest. What makes Deschamps even more interesting is that he never tried to copy football's biggest tactical icons. He didn't try to become Johan Cruyff, follow Guardiola's blueprint, or recreate Ancelotti's style. Instead, he built an approach that fits his own ideas, practical, disciplined, and focused on results. Every player understands their job, every transition is carefully prepared, and every game plan is adjusted to match the opponent. It might not always be the flashiest football to watch, but it's producing results that are impossible to ignore.
Arrivé tout en haut, il y a encore une étape, elle sera forcément difficile, parce que c'est la Coupe du Monde. Quand on est en quart de finale, on n'arrive pas par hasard, et quand on est en demi-finale, c'est les 4 meilleures équipes. Donc on va voir l'équipe qu'on aura en face, et évidemment mardi, l'objectif, ça sera d'aller tout là-haut, mais c'est par étapes. Aujourd'hui, c'était une étape. Chaque fois, c'est important quand c'est à élimination directe, mais aujourd'hui, c'est une étape importante.
France's numbers at this World Cup have grabbed everyone's attention. They've scored 13 goals in 4 matches while conceding only 2. They've also set impressive World Cup milestones, including becoming the first team to score 3 or more goals in 5 straight World Cup matches, and the first nation to win 7 consecutive World Cup games against European opponents. Take France's opening match against Senegal as an example. They stayed patient, controlled possession, waited for the right opportunities, and then attacked with ruthless efficiency. Mbappé scored twice, while Olise delivered a standout performance. Then came the round of 32 against Sweden. France never lost their composure, even when Sweden defended with numbers behind the ball. They kept moving the ball, searched for openings, and eventually broke through. The final score finished 3-0, with France out-shooting Sweden 25-8. This wasn't possession for the sake of looking impressive. It had a clear purpose. Every pass, every movement, and every attack was designed to create real chances. France's attacking output has reached another level under Deschamps, averaging 3.25 goals per game in this tournament, while Mbappé has continued to cause huge problems for opposing defenses every time he gets on the ball. We already knew Mbappé was one of the world's best players, but Deschamps has taken his game in a new direction by using him more often through the middle as a striker. The change has paid off with an incredible scoring run. As of July 2, Mbappé has 6 goals in 4 matches at this World Cup. That brings him to 18 career World Cup goals, just 1 behind Messi's all-time record, while still only 27 years old. But this attack isn't only about one player putting the ball in the net. The real strength comes from the way France creates chances. Nothing feels rushed. Everything is built through smart positioning and teamwork. Dembélé stretches defenses out wide. Olise finds dangerous pockets of space between the lines. Barcola makes aggressive runs behind the back line, and Mbappé is there to finish the moves when the opportunity arrives. That's the difference between a team that simply scores and one that can overwhelm opponents. France has repeatedly shown this approach against teams like Senegal, Iraq, Norway, and Sweden. They stay patient, stay organised, and take control when the key moments arrive. That's not simply good fortune, it's the result of a clear football philosophy. It's Deschamps saying, I don't care about looking beautiful. I care about winning. That mindset has shaped everything Didier Deschamps has built with France. But even the smartest tactical system has its limits. So what is the biggest reason this team makes the entire approach work so effectively? France's greatest strength isn't only their formation, their defensive discipline, or even their practical style of football. The key is that they have the right players to bring Deschamps' ideas to life. The clearest example is Kylian Mbappé, a striker who can turn one fast break into a huge scoring opportunity. Everyone already knows how clinical he can be, but what makes him such a perfect fit for this system is his incredible pace. Mbappé doesn't need a long passing move to create danger. Sometimes all it takes is one accurate ball over the top, one quick transition, or one split second when the defense loses its shape. Every time France wins possession, defenders immediately know the threat is there. His speed forces backlines to drop deeper, opening space for teammates and giving France even more attacking options before the move has fully developed. If Mbappé is the finisher, then Michael Olise is the creative force behind so much of France's attack. Olise has added a new dimension to this team with his vision and calm decision-making. He gives France the kind of creative playmaker they've been searching for over the past several years. At this World Cup, he leads the assist charts with 5, matching Maradona's total from 1,986 and sitting just 1 behind Pelé's record for a single tournament. Olise loves to drift into the half spaces, where he can spot passes that many players wouldn't even attempt. He knows when to slow the game down, when to speed it up, and how to create openings at exactly the right moment. That balance works perfectly alongside Mbappe's explosive pace. Together, they help turn France's solid defending into fast, dangerous attacks. But Olise isn't carrying the creative load alone, because on the opposite flank, Dembélé brings a completely different kind of threat. Where Olise relies on vision, Dembélé relies on directness and unpredictability. He constantly challenges defenders, forces extra cover, and stretches defensive lines across the pitch. His hat-trick against Norway highlighted just how dangerous he can be in wide areas. Behind them, Adrien Rabiot and Aurélien Tchouameni provide the control and balance that keep the entire system working from midfield. Adrien Rabiot plays a huge role in keeping France balanced. He breaks up attacks, wins the ball back, and gives the team an extra layer of defensive security. Alongside him, Aurelien Tchouameni brings control and stability. He keeps possession moving, covers dangerous areas, and helps connect the defense with the attack so the entire system stays organized. On top of that, France still has experienced options like N'Golo Kante available whenever extra energy or defensive strength is needed. Behind them is a defensive line packed with quality. William Saliba, Dayot Upamecano, Theo Hernandez, Jules Koundé, and goalkeeper Mike Maignan have all played important roles throughout the tournament. Each player brings individual quality, but together they form a well-drilled unit that has been extremely difficult to break down. France has conceded only 2 goals in 4 matches, showing just how effective the defensive setup has been. What's even more impressive is the depth available across the squad. Players like Randal Kolo Muani, Desiree Doué, Ibrahima Konaté, N'Golo Kanté, Marcus Thuram, and Jean-Philippe Mateta are all capable of making an impact when called upon. That depth gives Deschamps more tactical options and fresh legs, suggesting this France side may still have another level it can reach as the tournament continues. Against the very best teams, every mistake matters, and every decision can change everything. This is where Didier Deschamps and France will face their biggest test. They won't be judged by how many goals they scored earlier in the tournament, but by how they respond when every match becomes a battle for survival. The road ahead is filled with world-class opponents, tiny margins, and moments where one play can decide the entire competition. We already know France has the talent to dominate games. They've shown that throughout this tournament. The bigger question is what happens when the fast counterattacks disappear, when opponents defend with everyone behind the ball, and when the pressure of the knockout rounds reaches its highest level. Can Deschamps adjust once again, or will his tactical approach finally be pushed to its limit? After 14 years in charge, 1 World Cup title, 1 World Cup final decided on penalties, and 1 European Championship final that slipped away after extra time, his legacy is already secure, but this final chapter could make it even greater. What do you think? Can France go all the way, or will another team stop them when it matters most? Let us know your prediction in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with other football fans so you never miss our next deep dive into the world's biggest stories.